All right, now, some Republican senators stateside are fighting over the ISIS fight. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, both of whom may get into the Republican presidential nomination race, have taken opposing positions when it comes to the U.S. effort in Iraq and Syria. Cruz is shooting down the idea of sending American troops to fight the ISIS bad guys, while Graham is calling for combat forces on the ground. Could this be a bit of a foreign policy flashpoint on the Republican side of the ledger? Let's bring in our friend David Martosco from the U.S. editor of the Daily Mail. He's in New York City tonight. David, we know that foreign policy-wise, once the Republicans get out of the nomination, they're going to go at Hillary on Benghazi, and there's lots of stuff they want to hit her on. But what about within the Republicans? Could they be arguing about this issue of, you know, how much are we going to double down on ISIS here?
Well, I think right now the job of people like Ted Cruz is to distinguish themselves from President Obama. They're really not running against each other. They're trying to demonstrate to the Republican base that they are the one and not these other guys who can be as much un-Obama-like as possible. And in the case of Lindsey Graham, I mean, look, he's not really going to be a serious contender for the presidency. But at this point, his only hope in making some noise is by being as hard edge as possible and saying we have to go, you know, across every desert in the world and kick butt and take names. I think Cruz's position is a little more tenable. I mean, look at what's going on over there right now. You've got, you know, Masoud Barzani, the president of the Kurdish people. His army is defending a 600-mile-long border of Sinjar province against ISIS. They've probably lost about 1,000 soldiers and casualties, maybe 5,000 more in wounded. And most conservative estimates will say that if the United States had simply been arming them and doing it efficiently, getting them guns, bullets, bombs, and RPGs, they probably would have diminished their casualty losses by 70 or 80%. That's a significant piece of argument to be made. Right now, what little war material we're sending to the Kurds is going through Baghdad first. It's going through 8 miles of red tape before they see it. And Barzani is saying, hey, guys, we need more help from you, more consistent help. That's a more reliable position for somebody like Ted Cruz to make. And frankly, it'll surprise a lot of centrist Republicans who think of him as kind of a, you know, crazy wild child who just wants to shoot anything that moves with a turban on it. Yeah, it's a more reasonable position, and I think he's very smart to make it.
In fact, we've had some Yazidis have come to Ottawa here and have petitioned the Canadian government for just that, to help get arms. It takes a long time. Well, not only arms, it takes a long time to get food or any other supplies. I want to play a little clip here. Here is Ted Cruz talking about his position on boots on the ground in Iraq and Syria. Ted Cruz.
I don't believe it is necessary to put American boots on the ground. If we are arming the Peshmerga, they're fighting there. Just today, they didn't ask us for boots on the ground, but what they did say is they need the weaponry to stand up and destroy ISIS.
I want to pick up on your point, David. I think it's a good one that Ted may be just looking to be not like Obama, or any of the other candidates may be looking to be not like Obama. There's another candidate, I think, who will also try to be not like Obama in foreign policy, and that's Hillary Clinton. I think she may come out and be a little more hawkish and also try to not look like Obama. And I don't know how that would affect, then what do Republicans say?
Well, I'm not really sure that Barack Obama is expecting any Valentines from anybody in the race this time around. But clearly, Hillary Clinton is going to have to put some distance between herself and the president. You know, she was his chief foreign policy person for 6 years. And so she's going to be tied very, very tightly with him unless she goes out of her way to make that not happen. Now, I think, obviously, the big loser in all this are the really dovish folks like Rand Paul, who simply, you know, can't see their way clear of actually intervening anywhere for any reason. I mean, we could be in the middle of another Nazi menace and Rand Paul would want to stay home. but folks like Cruz right now, and I think like Scott Walker and some other major players who are really in the top tier right now, are going to go out of their way to say really 3 things. Number one, the president's been wrong. He's been sitting on his hands for far too long. Number 2, it's smarter to have somebody else fight this battle who knows the terrain, knows the language, and knows the players. And number 3, everybody cheered Obama when he brought people home from Iraq. He did it the wrong way, so let's fix it however we can fix it. That doesn't involve sending 100,000 people back. I mean, Obama said in an interview published today in Vox.com that he has the power to send 200,000 soldiers back there, but he doesn't want to do it. Nobody wants him to do it. What we want to see is ISIS fleeing to the hills, see these people blown up in their own IEDs. We want to see them take some serious losses, and if the Peshmerga are willing to do it for us, great. And any Republican who's willing to say that is going to curry favor in major early primary states where people are looking for common sense ideas.
And of course, the big news over the weekend is, of course, Jordan. We have an Arab state actually taking a significant role in fighting off a problem in their own region. I want to just close quickly, David, with this news about Jeb Bush. We just had the brief on it. He's going to release 375,000 emails. And unlike Mitt Romney, a decade of tax returns. I think this is smart politics by Jeb Bush. Get it all out there, and get it all out there a long, long way away from the November actual presidential race. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's the same thing he did a week ago with the admission that he smoked pot in high school. You know, by the time anybody actually brings it up in a debate, it'll be such old news. And frankly, the smarter people are the ones who are second to the table. You know, we broke 5 or 6 days ago that Ted Cruz smoked pot in high school. And at that point, really nobody cares. So anybody who wants to get their tax returns out, what they should do is release them about 6 hours after Jeb Bush does. They'll be on the record, but they'll be buried in the news cycle, and nobody will care. The only exception maybe is if Donald Trump releases his tax returns. I think all the extra zeros will make news no matter whether he does it at 2 in the morning on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that would be fun. I don't think, well, who knows? Let's see. David Martosco's in New York City.
He said he's gonna. He told me in Iowa last month that people are going to be surprised to find how successful he is when, not if, when he files his papers. So he's planning to do it.
All right. Well, we're going to have you back to talk about the Donald's chances in this. I would love that. In New York City, the home of the Donald. That's where David's at tonight. Thanks so much, David. Appreciate it.